into the Cypher. Prepare for another all-nighter.
On the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
All right, Chicago! Woo! Biggest bunch of beauties in the league. Worked their nuts off for this trophy.
Corey Crawford, baby. He was hilarious.
Corey Crawford went hard. Like, yes, the mild-mannered goalie came out and dropped, like, the F-bombs. I was like, I was like, you go, Corey. Got a little edge. Look at that.
Yeah, you know, that's what was lurking under that beard all that time.
You know, he looks kind of all sweet and innocent. I was like, whoa, okay. I don't know. Was he the best player in the Stanley Cup?
He was.
Better, really? I mean,
yes,
better than Patrick Kane?
Yes, he was.
Okay, just asking.
But I mean, I'm not mad that Kane got the Conn Smythe, but you know, Crawford was the best player.
I think that was debatable. If there was a game 7, I don't know if people would be saying that. But anyways, and I like Corey Crawford. You know, I really wanted to see Ray step it up. I really wanted to see Ray get some time. But at the same time, it didn't matter.
You can't do that in the playoffs.
But it didn't matter because he hadn't played since April. Yeah. So he was too dormant, too out of the loop to have put him in there. But either way, I think Crawford has earned the respect, you know, because, you know, he came into that position with some conflict. Remember when Niemi was there and he was the backup, and the question was he good enough to become the starter in the net? And he did. And I think at this point he has lived up to expectations.
No doubt.
But as you now know, the championship breakup has already begun. Yeah. Dave Bolin was traded to the Maple Leafs, and Faruq was traded to the Winnipeg Jets. By the way, I didn't even know that Winnipeg had a team.
Yeah, they're back.
I'm just trying to be funny. I was like, man, they sent you out to hockey wasteland.
Siberia. Probably literally. It's
they
sent
you
out there,
to the most irrelevant and obsolete type team they could send you to.
Yeah, Atlanta's going. You know, as a matter of fact, this team was Atlanta. So, ironically enough, Atlanta was, you know, very irrelevant. Very much so, and now they moved up to Winnipeg, and they're even more irrelevant. Now they're out of the U.S. and irrelevant. You
know, and you talk about two players in Bolin and Faruq that were really key in winning the Stanley Cup, like big-time goal and assist. You know, so I'm sure, but Dave Bolin's name went on the docket very quickly about potential trade, as well as, and this pains me when I hear this, but it makes sense. You know, everyone has the expectation that Victor Stahlberg is probably going to be traded because he just did not mesh well in the playoffs. He did not produce. He is definitely the best-looking Hawk there is.
I thought you were a Hossa person.
I love Marian Hossa for hockey. But have you seen Victor Stahlberg?
I've talked to him a few times.
Okay, did you look at him?
I had to look at him to talk to him.
Okay, tell me that's not a good-looking man there. Come on, just be honest.
Well, you know, I think I'm better.
Okay. You know what? Stop playing. Anyway, I'm not. You know what? Whatever. I'm not gonna do it. But you know, this gets back to exactly what you saw. Obviously, when they won in 2010, they're going to keep that core in place. They did exactly what they needed to do to make sure their Hossa was taken care of immediately. So that core is going to be there. You're going to have Sharp. You're going to have Hossa. You know, Kane, Taze, Seabrook.
Brian Bickle.
Keith.
Well, I think the reason that they're making some of the moves is so they can keep Bickle on the roster. I think this is partially why. Again, ask yourself the question. If you got to choose between keeping Bolin, Faruq, or Bickle, who are you pushing to keep on the ice?
Well, if you remember back to 2010, you know, a similar situation came up between Hjalmarsson and Niemi. You know, because Hjalmarsson got signed to an offer sheet by somebody. I believe it was San Jose. And they wound up matching that, and then, you know, Niemi wound up going out there to San Jose.
But understand, that's because I believe that they had faith that Corey Crawford at the time, who was the backup, was going to be a viable starter. Even though people questioned that. Remember when that move happened? They were like, really, you're going to let Niemi go? And you're going to put Crawford in the net? You know, you got some people who really feel that Crawford is not a good NHL goalie. They feel he's in the awful basket. People feel that way about him.
Well, yeah, now, you know, obviously now I think, you know, they made the right decision as far as, you know, keeping Hjalmarsson, of course. But when you compare that to it's a similar decision is all I was getting out there.
And it's interesting because the Hawks have had a kind of, I wouldn't say a revolving door with goalies, but remember before it was Niemi, it was Hobby Bulin, who I was quite a fan of Hobby Bulin. And then it was Niemi, and now it's Crawford. They've always seemed to kind of have this revolving door with that position. But I think Crawford has earned his right to be the starter. I mean, like I said, I would have liked to see Emery get some action, but he was out of commission since April. It wouldn't have been a good idea unless it was a must-go-to situation, like Crawford was hurt.
Yeah, you never see, you know, teams in my many years of following hockey, you never see teams alternating goalies during the postseason unless somebody is just awful or somebody is very mediocre, and that was their strength in the postseason. Was their goaltending. It carried them through the first 2 series, and then offense kind of picked up a little bit against LA. But Corey Crawford was winning a lot of those games early when Taves and Kane weren't giving them anything.
Right.
So, congrats to the Hawks. That parade thing. You were out there, weren't you? Both of you guys were out there, huh?
I was there, yeah.
And I was kind of standing above, coordinating for another radio station. The whole thing.
Even if you weren't a hockey fan, you should have gone because, let's be honest, you don't know when the next parade is going to be in the city of Chicago. Even though, and I always preface this and say the Bears are going to have a better season than people anticipate they're going to have. But I'm not going to say that's going to result in a Super Bowl parade. I don't know if I like the setup, kind of starting at the UC and working the way, and then kind of ending in Grant Park. I kind of liked it when it was on State Street before. That was the White Sox parade. Was on State.
The Blackhawks was down there too.
Yeah, but you can't do the exact same thing.
I know, but I kind of enjoyed that feeling. It was okay, but here's the thing. To me, it was a celebration of people that were 30 and under, because I was totally watching the behaviors of the people. And then people brought their kids because obviously, enjoy this moment, because the Hawks won, and it was good. You had your little sprinkles of different people out there, and it was good.
Sprinkles. Care to elaborate on that?
You had your sprinkles of people like me, and a couple of people I was looking at. I was like, I think you're just here, but I didn't say that to them. But it was once again, the city of Chicago managed to do things well. There were no issues, no problems. Even though they tried to say they were going to check people's bags. You're not checking nobody's bag.
Actually, there were a couple of issues.
But nothing. There's going to be issues, but there was nothing monumentous. You had people. There was somebody behind me smoking weed. You can't check for that.
There was a guy with a bag of guns out there.
Yeah, you didn't hear about that?
No.
Yeah. 2 guns, 2 loaded guns, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who apprehended him?
I think it was close by City Hall, wasn't he, Faruq?
Yeah, yeah. He was headed east. He was toward the end of the route there.
Any information on what his plan was?
I didn't hear anything else about that. Did you, Faruq?
No. All we got was the guy with the guns got caught.
Any information on how they caught him? Because lots of people had bags. That's what had backpacks and stuff. So how did they figure this man had weapons?
We'll find that. We'll have our man Ariel find that information.
See, that makes me not want to go places. See, I'm talking about you can't go nowhere. That's insane. I didn't know that. Why'd you tell me that?
Good thing you didn't know that, huh?
Right.
Out there with all those people, you'd have been yelling fire in a theater, huh?
Well, luckily I got in the front part of in the route. I was good, right in front, of kind of the post that was there, and I had 2 police officers right there with me. So
wait a minute, you were actually at the rally?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was just on Columbus at Balbo.
No, I got up to the rally part, and I got a little space right there in front. I got some pictures, which I am going to post on Facebook, some good stuff. So I got pictures of Taze holding up the cup and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, cool.
Well, if anybody out there was out there at the whole shindig, give us a buzz, 773-591-1690, and our buddy Creighton wants to talk to us. What's going on, Creighton?
Hey, Detroit.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's happening, Creighton?
Happy Sports Sunday.
Yes.
Happy Sports Sunday to you, too.
Yeah, okay. Let me say, first of all, y'all know my background, my pedigree, but that's irrelevant right now. I just want to say, look, congrats to the Blackhawks for winning the Stanley Cup this year. I watched a lot of hockey this year, and they were the best team I've seen all season from beginning to end, and they definitely deserve it. So a tap of the stick goes to those guys for winning the Cup. So I can't take anything from those guys. They played their tails off. They persevered and throughout the whole postseason. And they kind of reminded me of some of the teams I grew up watching back in Detroit back in the late 90s and whatnot. So, they might be on the verge of building a little something there if they can keep their core. But, but the key thing they did today was re-signing Brian Bickle, because honestly, between him and Andrew Shaw in the playoffs, I thought those 2 dudes were the 2 pests that every team needs, especially in the playoffs.
So, Creighton, are you coming over to the other side now? Are you ready to kind of just roll with us?
Hold on, Shorty. Hold on now. All right, ain't nobody's mac and cheese that good, okay?
Okay, I'm just saying we have a place for you if you want to come on board.
No, thank you. I pass.
Just,
I'm a
you
very
think about
loyal
it.
person. Plus,
My
pappy would kill. My pappy would come from the mid and come get me. He would never allow it.
We won't tell him.
No, it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna be nothing to tell. And also, guys, like I said, enough Blackhawks, whatever. So we all know baseball is going to be dead in the city, so I won't talk about baseball tonight. But I'll say that the whole Aaron Hernandez case has really, puzzled me. And first of all, let's just say it's pretty obvious he hasn't watched enough CSI in his life for some of the stuff that he's done. And, more than anything, it really bothers me that athletes in particular, brothers and minorities, Latinos, they just can't seem to stay out of trouble. It seems like every day in the news you hear about some athlete, all this money and fame. They're always doing something stupid, whether it's domestic, DUIs, guns, everything. I just don't get how a lot of these guys just can't stay clean and stay out of trouble. It really puzzles me.
Join the club, Creighton.
For us mere mortals who watch this unfold on a frequent basis, we all say the same thing because we all know if we were given an opportunity, we'd be rational. But this was where you don't have a separation of the professional life they have and the lifestyle they lived prior to this. Apparently, they cannot separate the two out. There's not a desire to.
Well, that's definitely a part of it, but also I think that they've been coddled and told pretty much that they're gods for their athletic ability since they were shorties. So they think that they can't do any wrong because everybody's been praising their names forever. And I think that some way, somehow, and I don't even know if this is even possible or feasible, but that has to change. When I see things like, specials on ESPN with high school kids decide what college they want to go to me, that's not news to me. All that does is just give these kids an ego that either A, they haven't earned, or B, they probably can't even handle. And it all starts there. It's all sad. It really is.
Well, it's definitely probably a good conversation for the NFL to have a town hall meeting because it's gotten to a point where it's ridiculous where a lot of this stuff is consistently going on. Like we had talked about 2 shows ago how NBC Sports, the Pro Talk, Football Talk, has a police blotter. And I was like, but think about it. It's always has something on it. That's the part that's really sad.
It's beyond sad. Yeah. Well, look, guys, that's all I got for today, man. Keep doing your thing. And, I'll be checking in with you all this summer, even though y'all probably won't talk much baseball this summer.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about how Detroit is failing to run away with a mediocre AL Central right there.
See, here you go.
Well, they lose again today to Tampa Bay. They lost again to Tampa, right?
I was being good.
Cleveland's going to win a division, Creighton.
Just ignore him.
Cleveland's going to win a division.
Creighton, ignore him.
See, now I got to hang up on you.
Cleveland's going to win a division. You know what? But the best part is I can do it. Goodbye.
Oh, he's so evil. So Ariel brings in, thank you, Ariel, for this. 6 people were arrested during the festivities, including a South Suburban man, Roger Harrison, 37, from Matson, Illinois.
Out there by you.
No, that's
the drama. It's a little east of you, but it's out there by you.
I'm just saying.
It's right down 32, right up the street from you.
He's due in court on Saturday, which was obviously passed, for being arrested on the parade route. Police said he was acting suspiciously. He admitted to possessing 1 gun.
I don't believe it.
And upon the search, the officers found a 2nd gun in his backpack. So obviously he's going to be charged with 2 felony counts of unlawful use of a weapon. And this happens to be a brother. Was he upset?
I don't believe this.
I know what it is. He's upset that the Blackhawks are using an Indian to represent their team, and he was coming out to defend their honor. That's what this is about. Because why else is this black man going to the Blackhawks parade with 2 guns? Come on now. What's he doing?
I don't believe this.
Is he mad that Ray didn't get to play? I mean, what's really going on?
I don't know, but I don't believe this. I don't believe any of this. He didn't just say, yeah, I got a gun.
Well, not to be funny, look at the picture. Does he look right between them 2 eyes? Does he look right?
Yeah, he has a funny hairline. I see that.
It's not just the hairline. He's not quite looking right upstairs. His eyes look a little wild. You know what I mean? But that might have been his look for the camera,
right,
for his mugshot.
You can't smile in your mugshot.
Either way, this is just really sad, and luckily nothing happened with this.
Yeah. I don't believe this because this guy doesn't look smart enough to do anything like that.
Well, most people using guns aren't intelligent, are they now?
Oh! You're gonna get these lines ringing. Don't say that because this.
You think most people who pull a trigger and kill people, you think they're intelligent?
Most people that do it criminally.
That's what I mean. I'm not talking about police officers. I'm talking about people who use them in a criminal capacity. Are we trying to say these are intelligent people? Really?
All right, Chicago!
That's what I'm trying to say. Yes.